It's a big investment. Most of the time it's the biggest investment of their life. So why wouldn't you spend $600 or $700 on a great report that's going to let you know what's going on with that property? So yeah, it's money well spent, in my opinion. You can save dramas and financial stress down the track. So
cool. So Laura, thank you very much today for joining us on the Gym Script podcast. And it's great to have a woman building inspector come on, because it's obviously a very blokey sort of industry. And, we've had a few gyms building inspection guys on, they're all blokes, but I think it's great to have you on, because I remember Sam saying you should talk to Laura, she's a gun. So it's great to have you on today. So let's just talk a bit about yourself and how did you get involved with gyms building inspections and what were you doing prior to doing the franchise?
Yeah, sure. Well, firstly, thank you so much for having me, Joel. It's to be honest, I got to say thank you to you, because listening to your podcast and a couple of your interviews with other guys in gyms building division was the catalyst to make me actually make the jump. So yeah, it was really great to have that platform to kind of take that risk from and make me feel a little bit more comfortable. So yeah, a little bit about me. So I've been with gyms building inspections now for 6 months. It's been great so far, and yeah, super supportive environment. My background, I come from, I started off in local government at council, mostly in like a regulatory compliance-based sort of role. I then specialised in swimming pool certification and helping councils set up their swimming pool safety programs. Worked at a number of councils across Sydney. That was about 10 years doing that. And then I jumped across to the private sector doing private certification. So I'm an accredited building surveyor and have been for, almost 10 years now as well, which was a great industry to be in. Obviously, I've been around building for a long time, but it seemed like a very natural and comfortable sort of transition to go into gyms building inspections. With that background, obviously, had a really good foundation to go into, but it's just one of those industries where you're learning every day and you're around people every day. And that's what I love about it. So
yeah, no, it's great to hear. And I think I looked at your surveys. You got perfect surveys. I would say based on your survey numbers, you get a lot of referrals from what I can see.
It's starting to increase, which is great.
Yeah.
And that's really what, I've set myself some very specific goals from the get-go. And I'm starting to get to a place where I'm feeling, much more confident. And I guess that referrals is a little indicator to me that I'm doing something right, which is great. And obviously with the gym's kind of ethos and making sure we've got that 5-star customer service, that's built into what I've always done in my life. And I guess it aligns with my values and providing value to people. So it's starting to pick up, obviously 6 months in, we've still got a long way to go. But yeah, it's a really nice start. And it's nice to kind of, I guess with starting your own thing, it's hard to know how you're doing in the beginning, but having those referrals is a really great way to use that momentum to charge forward. So.
And what have you enjoyed so far in the first 6 months about doing your own business? It can be quite scary. You've worked for someone for a long time and then you come over and do it. So what's maybe the reality of doing it that people might not understand, or maybe that you didn't know as well? Because you listen to all the interviews, which is great, but now you're in it. What is it married up to that sort of what they were saying, or has there been any differences? Or
it's a great question. And to be completely honest, it's absolutely exceeded my expectations in terms of the gym's model and coming into it. I could tell it would be supportive. I could tell that it would be a good positive and a good culture, a good environment with people around you. And it's really exceeded that, to be honest. I've been lucky enough to be mentored by some really great individuals. And I think I picked the right people, because the two people I chose, one of them got Franchisee of the Year and the other got nationally, and the other one got New South Wales franchisee. So Peter Fokos, who I'm very grateful for, and Andreas. So I've aligned myself with some good dudes, I think, and they've been so incredible in sort of mentoring me a little bit and just sharing their knowledge and how they started out in their first year particularly, which has been awesome. And so as someone coming into the franchise, having that support around you is invaluable, and it really just allows you and frees you up to kind of do your thing and run things the way that you want to run it. You can take a little bit from everyone and what works for you and what doesn't, and sort of apply that in your own way. So the gym's model, obviously, it's pretty clear that it's successful for a lot of people, and it's great to be a part of that and move forward. And we've got some really exciting things coming as well. So with my background in swimming pool certification, I'm working alongside Sam to bring that under the gym's umbrella and really push that this coming summer in terms of making pools safer and helping people in that sale and lease process to get their swimming pool fences compliant. And so that's a really exciting thing that we're going to be bringing under this umbrella. So that growth is something that I love, and I really appreciate being in that environment. So
glad you mentioned that, because I looked at the notes and I did see a few times swimming pool fences mentioned. So do you want to talk about, for people who've maybe got a pool and probably got no idea about it, what's the obligations with it in New South Wales, for example, and what do they need to know?
Yeah, awesome. So in New South Wales, any property with a swimming pool that's going to be sold or leased has to have a certificate of compliance or non-compliance. So if you are selling a property, and these rules and requirements came in around sort of 2014, 2016, every pool has to be registered on the state swimming pool register. So that's just the process that any mum or dad can jump on and register their swimming pool. And then if you're wanting to sell your property, you must sell it with a certificate of compliance or non-compliance. And to get that certificate, you need to get a registered inspector, so someone like myself or someone from council to come out and do an inspection and make sure everything sort of complies with the relevant requirements. If you're leasing the property, pretty similar process, but you must have a certificate of compliance. And it's really just to increase safety around swimming pools, decrease drowning rates and near drowning rates and things like that. So coming into these summer months now, we're sort of going to be pushing that a little bit more. And it's a good thing to be a part of, to see that growth and offering a new service within a division that's already, very successful. So, yeah.
And what about the other services you're doing? So in the first 6 months, what type of reports? I've talked to the guys a bit, so I've got a bit of an idea about it. But for the average person, what type of reports actually, maybe just tell them that you can do, or that homeowners or people looking to buy a home should consider?
Yeah, so look, the bread and butter is obviously the pre-purchase building and pest inspection report when you're looking to purchase a property or looking to sell a property to get, prepared for that sale period as a vendor. Other services we provide, obviously, new construction. So if you're looking to build a new home, so that goes alongside and coincides with the build process from slab all the way through to completion. Asbestos, we're doing tax depreciation reports. Me personally, my approach has been, obviously it's my first year, so I really want to master each service and then move to the next. So I'm at a point now where I'm bringing in the asbestos side of things and the new con. But yeah, the first 6 months has really just been a focus on pre-purchase building and pest inspection reports and dilapidation reports also. So if you're looking to build, it's really important to make sure you're getting an understanding of what's going on around you and making sure you're not causing any damage to adjoining properties and things like that. So, and coming from that certification background, I guess I've really seen where things can go wrong in the building industry. And so coming in with that mind has been a real benefit, to have that background. So yeah, it's really exciting to bring those services into the playing field and leverage those things off one another as well. So yeah, it's been good. It's good to have a variety of things. You can often get run down and doing the same service over and over. So it's good to have that bit of change.
And just how thorough are your reports? Because obviously there's people like going, well, don't building inspection franchisees or businesses do the same thing and provide the same thing in what they. So do you want to just outline maybe that the difference in what you provide, maybe as opposed to someone else?
Yeah, it's a great question. So I guess as with anything in any industry, there's different levels of quality and service. My emphasis is really on quality over quantity. So it's really important to me to provide value to a customer. And realistically, that's people on their property journey. That's people, first home buyers and investors and people buying their dream homes and things like that. Obviously in Sydney, the cost of living and the cost of buying a house is quite extraordinary. So you want to really make sure that you're investing your money in something that's, good for you and suitable for your needs. And so, yeah, I guess it's my point of difference. You've met me in real life. I'm very small. One thing that I can do is basically get into all the nooks and crannies of the house. We're talking about subfloors and roof voids and places that, some inspectors in other, not so much in gyms, but in other industry, in other companies and things may not, they may be a little bit complacent and may not get to all those nooks and crannies. So I make a point of letting people know that, it's a very thorough, very comprehensive inspection. I'm going to get to everywhere that I absolutely can. And as I said, it's really about providing that utmost value to the client. I think my favorite part of the whole process is really that phone call that we make to every client post-report, where we're talking to them about the building and talking to them about the report and having that verbal conversation with them. Because sometimes a report can be a little bit daunting. You're looking at all these pages of arrows and dots and pictures and things like that. And that's not for everyone, sometimes put people to sleep, but I really enjoy that part of having that interaction with people and talking to them and really understanding what their needs are to understand if that's the right property or not for them. And seeing them get to that outcome has been awesome. And that's probably the most satisfying part of the job, that I can see that, we're really helping people. And that's the main thing, in providing that service to people.
I think the awareness around the industry has gone huge now because, there's always a story on a current affair, like every week it seems like with the builder or something like that. And obviously there's a big social media star who's pretty well known as well. It's showing a lot of stuff, and I think it's helping you guys a lot because I think now people actually take this seriously. I think 4 or 5 years ago, people knew they should get an inspection, but a lot of the time people might just go, maybe not. But now I think it's sort of, it's people becoming, the general punters becoming a lot more aware of what they need. They need this at all times, whether it's a pre-purchase or whether it's a looking existing property. I just think it's becoming a non-brainer to the general public now.
100%. Yeah, there's a lot of nightmares out there. And like I said, if you're in, it's a big investment. Most of the time it's the biggest investment of their life. So why wouldn't you spend $600 or $700 on a great report that's going to let you know what's going on with that property? So yeah, it's money well spent, in my opinion. You can save dramas and financial stress down the track. So
I want to point out for people, I think the difference with using you guys to someone else is you guys obviously own the business, whereas a lot of the time it's the other person might be an employee or something coming out. They rush it. They don't, maybe not as, I'm not saying they don't have much care, but they might have as much care. Whereas with you guys, because it's your business reputation and you're responsible for ultimately, you will deliver, in my opinion, from what I know anyway, we're a bit biased, but a better experience from what I know. Because I've spoken to a few other building inspectors enough, and that's sort of the thing that I get pointed out a bit, is that the other guy coming as an employee, he's on this much an hour and knows they're making this much an hour from the report, probably doesn't put as much care into it as what you guys will. That's
exactly right. And I've seen that firsthand in a lot of the guys that have been with Jim's Building Inspections for many years. There's obviously a level, we go through quite rigorous training, and we've all come from backgrounds that, we've been in the industry for many years, a lot of us, whether we're ex-builders or engineers or certifiers. And so it's our name and it's our reputation on the line. And you'll see from across the board people's reviews and things like that. And I did my own research coming into it to kind of see, what people's backgrounds were. And it's I think in anything in life, it's you put in, or you get out what you put into it. So if you're providing value and something that's helping people, you're going to get that back, whether that's financially or just through general satisfaction,
An average week for you, like how many reports are you doing, or what does it sort of look like?
It's been, so this first 6 months, to be honest, it's been up and down. Like there's some weeks that are super busy, other weeks where you've got a little bit more time on your hands. I'm lucky enough that, I've got my swimming pool certification company still running in the background. So I turn that on and lean into that when I need to. But it'd be great to bring that all under the one umbrella. But as with anything, it's about building up those referrals and building up that consistency. And I can see, I guess, the fruits of my labor in that respect starting to kind of come back to me. And, you do a good job for one client, they talk to their friends and, they might not be successful at that property, so they'll get you back. I've helped people on 3 or 4 times and, they miss out on the first 3 auctions and they get the 4th one. So it's great to see people get to that outcome. But it's been a little bit of a learning curve, I guess, in terms of the pace of what we're doing. My background coming from certification, I'll be very honest with you, it was, I got burnt out and was doing very, very big hours, and I got to a point where I knew I needed a change. So this was a great opportunity for me to kind of switch up just the pace of things and have ownership over my time. And that's probably been the best thing about coming into Jim's Building Inspections, is that control over my time and that flexibility. And I think a lot of guys have found that same thing coming into it. So it's been great to have that flexibility, especially if you're someone who's got other things going on, whether that be family life or other businesses or other things that you do. You've got that ownership now, so it's been fantastic.
And I was going to say the financially as well, you've been happy with what you've been doing financially with it?
I have, it's definitely exceeded my expectations in that regard, to be honest. Sort of wish I'd done it sooner, but I think everything plays out the way it needs to. You're in control. You can do as much or as little as you want. As I said, some weeks, and I'll be honest, I'm a professional musician as well. So there's some weeks that, I'm gigging 3 or 4 nights of the week. And so
how do you play?
I'm a guitarist. So
I play guitar too.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. You're better than me, Joel.
No, definitely not. Definitely not.
And you can shred a little better than I can. But
no.
Yeah, but basically it's I've got those weeks where I know I'm doing 3 or 4 gigs a week where I can kind of turn off my leads and go jump and do that and then come back into inspections. And it's that transition is much more seamless now and much less stressful than what it used to be. So I think for anyone who has other things going on, it can be a really beneficial thing to do,
And what are you playing? Top 40 covers, or what do you play?
Straight up gangster rap for us, but
gangster rap.
Yeah. No.
Yeah,
So we we do all covers and mashups. So we've had a residency at the Hilton Hotel for 12 going on 13 years now, and
wow.
So we do a lot of corporate events and weddings and cruises and things like that as well. But it's great. It's a great little transition. I've got my tour belt on during the day. I've got my guitar on at night. So I'm a bit like a bit of a, I don't know what you call it, superwoman, but not as good as superwoman. I just transitioned in the night to someone completely different. But it's good. It's a fun change. It's nice to have that diversity in your life, I think, and things to to kind of mix it up. I don't like monotony. So.
No, it's awesome. Well, maybe the JBI conference can get your band to do something next year. Maybe get them, they can fly you to play. But you mentioned the support at the start, though. You mentioned the 2 franchisees, which is great to hear that the franchisees are... Because a lot of people, when they look at gyms, go, why would a franchisee help me? They're my competitor, right? That's how sort of people view it. But as you would know, the demand is there, and you want the other people wearing the shirt to be just as good as you or better. So how have you found the support overall, not only from the franchisees, but from head office? What do they provide you guys?
From the top down, it's just been like from the first call that I made to Sam to inquire was a little bit more information. From that point to now, it's just been absolutely supportive and just I couldn't really ask more, to be honest. People are willing to share knowledge. People are willing to share their templates and their experiences and the way that they do things to make things more efficient. And that's a really, really beneficial thing when you're in your first year of doing something on your own. I think it was, for me, it was either join gyms or it was going to be starting my own certification company. And that would have been in complete isolation. And in this industry and building, you really do need people around you, I think, to bounce things off. And I get questions from the guys too from day one. People are asking me certification questions and questions about unauthorized works and things like that. And that sharing of knowledge, we've got a WhatsApp group, we communicate and things like that is great. And I think that willingness to share is really good. And that, I think, has been a common thing a common thread I've found in gyms altogether. There's, even just, any interaction I have with any gym person, we just come off the back of our conference down in Adelaide, which we have, I think, every 2 years. And that was a really great experience, to meet other guys from other states, and see what they're doing and other people in their first year. And it's just been it's very positive. I think if you're someone who's self-motivated and driven, this is a great place to go and have a crack at. I haven't looked back since. So 6 months in and hopefully 60 to go.
It's a really good culture, JBI, because every division in gyms, people might not know, they've got their own little culture in a way. So test and tag, mowing, fencing, it's all pool care. JBI's got its own culture, and JBI's pretty strong on that. I know Paul and Sam are strong on that from day one, and they come from a lot of the team sport background, and you can sort of see that in the division, because it's a really good division, I think, and you've got a lot of good people in it. Obviously, a lot of experience from a lot of ex-builders and stuff like that as well. And everyone's really, really tip-top, uniform branding on point. Everything's on point.
Absolutely, 100%.
For sure.
Yeah.
So, Laura, I've got a hard out at 11, but is there anything else you want to leave with today or say, or I haven't asked you maybe?
No, I think you've covered most of it. I just think the other great thing I've seen in gyms is that we're starting to see more women in the industry, and that's really fantastic. I think that representation is really important. Going down to the conference and meeting some of the other guys and girls, it's been great. And I think if we can, really, really promote that and show people that this is a great place to work, provided you've got the experience and you've got the drive, it's an amazing place. So that's pretty much.
I think you've got a major benefit being a lady in gyms building inspections. I think you've got a massive benefit. I've said it to even the gyms mowing franchisees, the women franchisees in there are flat out because it's mainly women customers, right? So, but you got a massive advantage. But no, Laura, thank you very much for your time today. We appreciate it as well. You shared a lot of great knowledge as well, and we're great to see more women into the building and inspection industry as well. I've actually got Jim just coming here 1 second, so I don't know if you can see Jim on the screen. I've got Laura from Jim's Building Inspections there.
Hi, Jim. How are you?
So Laura's a star. So Laura's done the podcast, and great to hear that she found the podcast helpful to get her across the line. And she's been there for 6 months and just starting up full inspections and stuff as well in the division and doing really, really well. No worries. Sorry, I'll have to shoot you, Laura, because I've got to go with Jim for that. But awesome. great to hear you're a fellow guitarist. Appreciate you doing this. This will probably be out in a week on YouTube and stuff. So, please share it wide. And you have to send me a video clip of you playing with them. I'm keen to see, actually. So
100%. We'll have to get you up on stage.
No, not me. No. I'm just a hack. No worries. Yeah. Appreciate it, Laura.
Thanks, Joel. Have a good one.
You too. Bye. Thank you for listening to the episode of the Gyms podcast. If you want to learn more about the Gyms Group, head to gyms.net or call us on 131 546 Australia or 0800 454 654 New Zealand. And if you did like the episode as well, please make sure you leave a review or a comment or a thumbs up or a comment on the video as well. We appreciate your support. And until next episode, we hope you have a great week.